Master? The others told me that you were home, and I know that you enjoy resting in the library after a long journey, so I figured you would be here. I thought I would come to welcome you, ask you how you are. Well, I suppose I'm surprised that you're back so soon. I was under the impression that your visit was supposed to last through tonight, and you would return tomorrow afternoon. Did you miss me too much to stay away? Sorry, I know I promised I wouldn't flirt so much, but I can't help it. We're gone for 5 days. I missed you a lot. I know, but still, any day without you feels like torture. All I could do was sit around, clean everything over and over again until you returned. It was agony. Well, I know I didn't have to, but what else was I supposed to do? Just sit and watch the clouds drift across the sky? You know I don't have the patience for that. But enough about what's happened here. How was your visit? Specifically, how was the ball? I know you hate attending them. I was very worried that you were having a horrible time. I sincerely felt terrible that I couldn't come with you and give you an excuse to leave whenever you got annoyed by those degenerates asking for a dance. Oh, I know, but that doesn't help ease my guilt. I'm your maid. Falling ill shouldn't have stopped me from coming with you to an event where you so clearly needed me. Oh, were you worried about me? Oh, my darling, how lovely are the words that you speak. I'm healed by hearing of your concern for me. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Hearing you say that you care for me makes me very happy. But I'm not flirting. I'm telling the truth. Fine, all completely truthful flirting aside. Yes, I do feel much better. It took a few days, but I'm over the worst of it. I'll admit to being a bit tired, but that's nothing out of the ordinary in this case. Now quit asking about me. I want to know how you've been. Different, you say? I assume that you mean exhausting from the sound of your voice. Though you predicted that even before you left the manor. I remember that you said many of those vying for your hand in marriage would be there, and that tensions are rising between many of the noble families that were in attendance. I assume there was quite a bit of drama to be found. More than a bit. Well then, consider me intrigued. Care to tell me about it? Well, what can I say? I usually go to these events with you to see what happens firsthand. I want to know what I missed. Oh, you can call me a gossip if you want, but that won't quench my need to know what I missed. Really? And in the middle of the yard? Where anyone could see? Oh, that must have been quite a sight. Even they should know better than to fight at such a formal event, especially given that they're both still looking for someone to spend the courting season with. Who won? Of course, I should have guessed. Lady Elise would never put up with such fighting, and certainly not within the first hours of everyone arriving. I trust that she gave them both a very stern talking to. Well, I figured so. She's not the type to tolerate that behavior for even a moment. Oh, I'm sure that made for a very interesting first few hours. What else happened? Oh, no, that. That has been a very long time in the making, Master. Those two have been dancing around each other for quite a while. I'm just glad that they finally worked up the nerve to ask each other to dance. Really? Well, I suppose that's to be expected. After being so nervous to approach each other, it shouldn't be expected that they're completely at ease with each other immediately. Hopefully, at least they didn't trip over each other's feet. Oh, that's rather unfortunate, though it's also a little funny. I can only hope that meant for the rest of the dance it was a bit more smooth. Oh, of course they did. Ridiculous. You'd think that all of them would finally learn to read the signs and realize that you're not interested in them. Inviting you to a dance won't change that. I'm not getting angry. I'm just annoyed on your behalf. You shouldn't have to deal with such pathetic attempts at your hand when you aren't even seeking a relationship. Well, I can hardly help it. You've told them time and time again, and yet they treat your rejections as nothing that should dissuade them. I knew I should have come with you. Sickness be damned. If I was there, you wouldn't have to deal with any of those desperate fools. They should know better than to annoy you when I'm right by your side, I swear. Next time I see anyone try to pull something like that, I had better tell them exactly what I think of their worthless attempts to persuade you to marry them. Oh, what is it, Master? Me? Jealous? I could never be jealous of anybody like that. Oh, my darling, please don't look at me like that. You know I can't lie to you when I'm looking you in the eye. Oh, stop looking at me. I'm just... Ugh, fine, yes, I'm jealous. I hate knowing that you dance with so many people when you should have been dancing with me. Well, how can I not be? Getting to be so close to you is an honor. It would only make sense that I'd be jealous of anyone taking my spot as your dance partner. Especially if they're wanting to court you. My darling, you can't just say something like that. My heart might explode from how sweet you are. Well, I'm not being overdramatic, it's the truth. Hearing you say that no one can take my place is enough to make me weak in the knees. So could you say it again, for me? Such lovely words, and such a lovely voice. Have I ever mentioned how much I enjoy listening to you? Okay, well, have I ever mentioned how much I love hearing those particular words? Well, then I suppose I'll have to say it more, won't I? Oh, but I suppose that you'll just have to say those words more, so I can say it in response. Oh, but won't you say them at least once more so I might commit them to memory? Because I want to remember them so well that I remember them even in my sleep. Of course I dream of you. It could hardly be called a dream if you weren't there. But you're only in my good dreams, of course. I would never subject you to my nightmares. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? If you've been having nightmares, my darling, then all you need to do is come to my room, and I'd be very glad to ward them off. I would never imply such a thing. I was simply offering that you might sleep in my bed with me so that I could keep nightmares from reaching you. In fact, given that look of tiredness in your eyes, it might be a wise idea that you and I should go to my room at this very moment. Yes, so that you may have a good night's sleep. I'm sure you're very tired from your journey home. I'm sure you would enjoy the chance to rest. You may say that, but I see you fighting the urge to yawn. You don't have to stay awake for my sake, you know. If you're tired, I'd much prefer that you got some sleep. There's no need to lie. If there's anyone that's been able to tell when you're tired, it's me. You should retire for the night, Master. Stubborn as ever, aren't you? Please, allow me to walk you back to your room. I promise I'll still be here to flirt with you more once you've woken up. What if I said I'd be here to flirt with you and bring you breakfast? And what sort of pastry is it that you've been wanting? You drive a hard bargain. I suppose I can make that work. Now would you please let me escort you to your room? Yes, I know, but it gives me a chance to steal a few more seconds with you. So if you'd let me, I would love to walk with you. Well, I might be a shameless flirt, but I'm still a skilled one, aren't I? At least I assume so, given the smiles I managed to get from you. Fine, as you wish. I'll try to hold my tongue and its sweetened words for the very short walk to your room. But we better be quick in that case. You're too attractive for me to ignore for too long. Oh, did I? We better leave immediately. Time is limited when it comes to how long I can hold back my adorations of you. Well then, to strike up a new conversation to distract myself from flirting, may I ask how the journey was? I expected it was long and tiring, but hopefully not too harsh. Well, that's good. I know that the weather in the northern regions can be quite fickle this time of the year, and I was worried it would cause you trouble. Thankfully, it sounds like that wasn't the case. Besides the wind. Master, may I ask you something? You've seemed somewhat distracted since you've returned, and not in the same way you usually are when you're tired. Is something the matter? A rumor? What sort of rumor could get so tangled in your thoughts like this? That's unusual. You've never cared about rumors regarding royalty or nobility before. What exactly was it regarding? The lost princess? What do you mean? Have they been found? Then what exactly was the rumor? Eloped. So they suspect that the princess had a lover and abdicated the throne to be with them. Well, that is certainly a possibility, I suppose. I mean, I'm a bit caught off guard. It's been some years since the princess has disappeared. I didn't really expect that anybody would still be talking about her. Least of all yourself. Thought most people had assumed that she died. It's bringing this rumor about. A look-alike. But how would they know what the princess looks like? A description from the mouth of gossip can only do so much. Not that I'm calling you a gossip, my darling. I know you rarely enjoy participating in that kind of thing. which is why I'm so confused as to why you're speaking of such a rumor. Oh, yes, that's true. A painting would provide a much better reference, but surely there was no way that a full-sized portrait was available. I mean, that is to say, I'm certain that there was no portrait of the former princess in the Greenfield estate. That would be rather odd. Lady Elise, so was she the one who commissioned... She commissioned the new portrait. Well, that sounds nice, but I fail to see what that has to do with a portrait of a lost royal. And are you certain that it's the same artist that they commissioned for the royal portraits? Are you really, really certain? No, they shouldn't have drafts. No, I don't know what the princess looked like. I mean, I don't know why that would be the case. I'm not... You know that I'm not... You make it very hard to lie when you're looking at me like that. Do I really have to say it? You've already figured it out, haven't you? You're not gonna make this easy, are you? That's one of the many things I adore about you. I'm not stalling. I was just struck by how much I admire you for keeping a level head in this situation. You always look so enchanting when you're determined. Flirting with you just comes naturally, I suppose. But you're right. I am the lost princess. You look very surprised to hear it, but you already knew what I was going to say. I'd imagine you received quite the shock when you realized who the artist had been drawing. I'm sorry. For not telling you, I never thought that you would find out. No, wait, please. I didn't mean it like that. No, it's not that at all. Please allow me to explain myself. I swear I'll tell you everything. I won't leave a single detail out at all. Yes, I swear it. Thank you. I promise I'll make it worth your time. Sorry, I'm not too sure where to begin. But I suppose I should start here. You're an attractive, well-to-do member of nobility who's been unwed for many years. I go even farther and say that you've never entered a relationship in the entire time of knowing you. Besides, was that a fling with a baker? I have no idea. And despite your blatant refusal to take on a partner, you still had, and currently have, many offers of courtship from all over the kingdom. Do you agree with that? Oh, I assure you, my darling, you are incredibly attractive. If it suits you, we could forget the rest of this conversation, and instead, I could spend the rest of the night telling you all the things that make you so devastatingly good-looking. Well, it was worth a shot. But I suppose there's no way out of this, is there? And I'll continue on. Now we've agreed that you have had many offers for your hand in marriage, and I think it's fair to assume that you may not have remembered all of them. It is a vast number of flowery letters that I find in the trash, so I assume some of the names may escape you. However, I would have thought that a letter from the princess would have caught your attention. You really don't remember. Well, somehow that doesn't surprise me. If anything, you're the one who looks surprised. Yes. I was trying to propose an offer of courtship with you. No, we hadn't met before, but at the same time, that didn't matter to me. I'd been ordered by my parents to find a suitable partner, and though I didn't care about finding someone to settle down with, I couldn't disobey them. However, I couldn't stand any of the candidates that they chose for me, so I told them I would find one myself. I began attending events held during the social season, so I could find someone that would agree to marry me. However, even though I was only seeking a marriage for convenience, I still couldn't find anyone that I would be willing to marry. Most of them were so awestruck by me merely approaching them that it annoyed me. Not to mention that the ones who would try to chase me down, beg me to marry their eldest child or younger sibling, or whoever else, got on my nerves. I suppose after a few weeks I was so frustrated with the process, I nearly decided to quit. But it was then that I saw you. Like some sort of fever dream. I saw you from across the floor. You looked bored with the person talking to you, and I remember hearing them brag on and on about how they were surely the best dancer at the ball. Ridiculous claim, given I'd seen them stepping on every single one of their partner's toes all night. But it did make me laugh to hear you tell them, in no uncertain terms, that you wouldn't dance with him. I was so shocked that I couldn't help but steal glances in your direction whenever I could. And for the rest of the night, I watched you reject every single person who came up to you. I was fascinated. I spent the rest of the social season asking everyone who I met about you. I listened to everything they could tell me. But it was never enough. I was too curious about you. By the time the season was coming to an end, I knew I wanted to try courting you, so I sent you a letter to propose that arrangement. Given everything I'd learned about you, you'd think that I would have expected that you would just ignore the letter. For some reason, I didn't. I was very confused when I didn't receive a response from you. And so I decided that I would come to see you in person to convince you of how beneficial our marriage would be. I was admittedly a bit thrown off by your rejection, but I wasn't willing to give up so easily. Of course, it was just my luck that I got robbed, just as soon as I was entering town. I was injured during the attack, but before I could find someone to help me, I fell unconscious. Imagine my surprise when I woke up and found myself in your state. You remember that, I assume. It was quite the shock to find out that you were the one who'd been taking care of me. Seeing you walk into the room to change my bandages made me forget every single thought I had about finding someone else to marry. You were kind. You helped me mend my wounds and let me stay here while I healed. And of course, as greedy as I am, I took you up on this offer. I wanted very badly to know you better, and I knew this probably would be my only chance to do so. It was clear fairly quickly that you didn't recognize me, which was a very refreshing change of pace from the social season. You were so at ease around me. It was so very, very different from all the stories I'd heard about your icy demeanor. So I couldn't help but be even more drawn to you. As I healed, I began to ask you whether I could help with your day-to-day items, giving you the excuse of wanting to repay you for your kindness. And then you allowed it, and I spent most of my time helping you around the house. Cleaning, running the market, cooking. Alright, I may have done more watching than cooking, but I still tried to help, even if I did burn everything that I tried to make. But as I said, I got to spend more time with you. Every day. And I got to know you even better every day. And every day my admiration for you grew. every second I spent with you only made me fall for you more. And then eventually I asked you, why have you never entered a relationship with any of the other nobles who sought after you? Do you remember what you told me? You told me that you refused to be with someone who wanted to marry you for something like your fortune or reputation. You would only marry someone who loved you and who you loved in return. Of course I remember. Every time I thought about that answer, guilt would claw at my throat, because I knew I'd been looking to marry you for a similar reason. Even though I developed genuine feelings for you, I was no better than any of your other suitors. I can press the matter of courtship. I knew that would make you happy. However, the thought of having to find someone else to wed was devastating. The thought that I might someday have to leave you was even more so. So I decided that I wouldn't. I would stay the rest of the time here, as long as you would let me, no matter how greedy that would make me. I can't tell you how happy I was when you offered me a job as your maid. I could have kissed you in that moment, and of course I didn't. I didn't know how you would react. I couldn't risk losing you. So as long as I was by your side, I was happy. And I knew I had to do everything possible to stay here. Doesn't matter. I've never wanted to rule the kingdom, and I'm not the only person in line for the throne. One of my siblings could take my place, and they would do better than I ever could have. I've no desire to return to my old life. Not when I'm with you. Not when I know that I could be here standing by your side while we walk through the marketplace. Sitting with you in the library. I seek no life besides the one that I've made right here. Haven't I made my reasoning clear enough? Because I love you. I've been flirting with you for years. You can't tell me that you're actually surprised. Yes, I mean it. It feels very natural to flirt with you, and it always makes you smile. Sometimes you even flirt with me in return. It always sends my heart at a wild pace. I really can't tell you what those sweet words mean to me. Of course I've thought about such things, but it seems far too much to hope for. A romantic relationship with you. If only I could be so lucky. But I'm very content with whatever this is. Smiles, shared glances, the brush of our hands, secret jokes and whispers that only we can hear. I'm happy. To ask for more would be entitlement. It's as I said. I would never want to do anything that would push you away. I would only take what you allow, and I could never try to starve my own love for you. But I won't allow it to take more than you are willing to give. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Well, I suppose I would, yes. Whatever you offer, I'd be more than willing to take. Oh, you mean... Master, are you certain? I don't want you to regret this, and... I think I must be dreaming. Hey, I didn't say you could pinch me. No, I didn't. Because if this were a dream, I want you to never let me wake up. Well, if I must wake up, then I hope it's by your side. I can imagine few things as sweet as that. Except the feel of your lips on mine. That is certainly very, very, very much sweeter. You keep the secret. Just never make me leave you. I don't think I'd be able to handle it. Of course not. I'm yours, darling. From all those years ago. And until the end of eternity. So long as you will